So I came upstairs just so I can do this because I kind of smell. And also, Hannah Pickens is still downstairs in my room. So I'm up here. I can talk more easily to you, I guess. And I smell really bad, so it's probably a good thing that you're not here. Yeah, I just ran and I smell. I had conferences, so. Oh, you can't see the window. Well, it's dark outside already. It was kind of cool to run when the sun was setting, but yeah. So, I took notes. I'm a dork like that, so I took notes while I was watching your video. So, I don't know what you meant when you said you took Andrew with you. Like, did Guzzy actually, where's Guzzy from? I just don't get that. Like, did you take Guzzy's application? Because I thought that was what you were doing. I mean, unless you went with Guzzy. Yeah, anyway, that didn't make sense to me. And then, obviously, of course, I watched your video. You put it up, what else was I going to do? You have been watching them. And it sucks that you're doing that workout again, because Coach gave me a really awful schedule. It's hour, half hour, hour, half hour, hour, half hour. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. But, I mean, you're doing that evil workout by yourself again. Never liked that very much. And I thought it was funny that halfway through, you thought you were going to run out of things to say, because you obviously had another, 4 minutes of stuff to say, or at least stumble around about and mutter to yourself and goof. And so this is kind of a request. Since it's raining money on you, can you bring back toothpicks for me? Kind of weird, but yeah, I'm asking anyway. Okay, and I mean, you can get another necklace if that one is bothering you. Yeah, this is what I wear because of conferences. I took off the other necklace. It's downstairs. I'm going to change it back after I shower. And the blanket. My only comment was going to be, oh, I wasn't laughing. I was just going to say, okay, that's nice. I mean, a blanket's a blanket. They're useful, helpful things. Just not when they're pink and black and meant for a boy. And it can't be an awkward silence, Max, if you're not waiting for someone to actually respond back to you. If you're talking to a camera, it cannot be an awkward silence. Like right now, I'm staring at my iPod. This is not going to be an awkward silence. Ready? See, it wasn't awkward, even though I started smiling anyway. Okay. And yes, you're allowed to get a haircut. I was just about to ask, you know, oh, you still have all your hair, so definitely allowed. And your ending, did you mean to rhyme? I love you, I miss you, wish I could kiss you. Like, that was pretty cute. And I'm pretty sure it was unintentional too. So that was funny. And I think it's hilarious that I'm the one who stayed. So in theory, I should miss you more, right? Because I'm still in my normal routine and you're just suddenly out of it. So I should have this hole in my routine and be missing you more. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. So I think it's funny. But then again, maybe it's because I have conferences. And like yesterday, I had to run a whole, ooh, dang, I haven't talked to Candace yet today. My grandma called me randomly. Okay, back up. Yesterday, ran for an hour with Sierra and Candace, but we didn't start until like 7 o'clock, so it was super late. And on top of that, I wanted to do this centers activity with Spanish 2. So I had to plan out what each center was going to be, and I needed different materials for each center, so I had a ton of planning to do, which was kind of stupid, because I also had Mr. Bowen coming to observe me for Spanish 4, so I needed to make sure that that lesson was absolutely perfect. And then he comes in this morning and observes, and I can't believe it was still this morning because today has been so long. But he comes in and observes Spanish 4, and they're so talkative today. And like, I had to say multiple times, like, atención, clase, escuchen, like, multiple different ways to get their attention, and it was extremely frustrating. And I'm not going to get to talk to him about it until Thursday, and Mrs. Matt is finally going to tell me tomorrow after school what she thought of when she observed me on Monday. So it's this really big clash of like getting observed for midterms and like, ugh, it's frustrating, annoying, time consuming. But I think tomorrow Spanish 3 is going to be really easy because we're just finishing the chapter, and then they're going to do like their vocab and like easy stuff. So I don't need to plan anything for Spanish 3, and Spanish 4 is pretty much the same. We're just writing paragraphs, so I don't have to plan that either. The only thing I really have to do is Spanish 2. And that brings us to conferences today, because I had to, like, let's see, we were there for 3 hours, 3:30 to 6:30, and they gave us food, so I had dinner at like 3 o'clock, which was weird. But, I mean, it was a decent seafood sandwich, so I wasn't going to complain. They're feeding me at school 3 times this week, which is awesome. And then, like, Candace just gave me bread, so I have all kinds of food. Apparently, I ate Hannah's eggs. That was an accident. I was talking about conferences. So, I had something like 7, 8 parents of my kids that showed up, and only one who is actually Mrs. Matt's 5th-hour class, the one that she still has and teaches herself. So it was like, what am I going to say to these parents? Like, I've never done this before. I mean, last time I went to conferences with my parents was 2nd grade, and I wasn't allowed in the room while they talked about me. So it was just really weird, and we were in the cafeteria, like sitting at the same table, and just waiting for parents to come up to us. And then we'd pull up their grade on her MacBook so we could only see the one student's grade, and then we could talk about that. And I was trying to make it a point to talk about every student before pulling up their grades, or at least tell them about the class before pulling up their grades, so I could like prove that I actually know something about what I'm doing. Well, it went pretty well because I had Mrs. Matt there right next to me, so she could kind of jump in and piggyback off of what I was saying. And I mean, she only had one student who was completely hers, so that was totally fine with me that she was helping me. But one parent. So, Noah Dustin is a kid I always complain about from Spanish 2. And he was the one whose parents took him out for an entire week to go to Florida. Well, it turns out, this came out while we were talking at conferences with Noah Dustin's mother, that Noah's mom and dad went down for a business conference. And Noah only came to hang out with his grandma for a week. Like, are you stupid? And then the way she introduced herself is she's like trying to tell me that she understands what it's like to be a student teacher, and like, she's done this before, she remembers being a student teacher, and like trying to get on my good side, I guess, which honestly is what I started off doing to her when we needed to talk about her kid who has 55%, but so after that, she's like, yeah, I know what you're going through, I've got my certification, I just never ended up teaching in a classroom. Right now I'm in charge of a co-op, and I teach grammar when I got my degree in history, whatever. Okay, fine. So apparently she used to homeschool Noah Dustin, so obviously nothing I do is going to stand up to being homeschooled. It's like comparing tutoring and like a giant lecture hall. Ugh. So then this woman continues, and when we knew it got really bad was when she asked Mrs. Mayotte how many times she has been in the classroom lately, and honestly, she said twice, which is completely true. She knows that she needs to get out of the room, basically, so that the kids will understand, okay, this is going to be your teacher now, like, she needs to be in charge and learn how to do all of this, and so you need to go to her to go to the bathroom when you have a missing assignment, when you're making a test, like, so obviously she's not in the classroom, but then, she kind of backed up and kind of fibbed a little bit. She's like, yeah, she has all of her paperwork, she shows me her lesson plans, and she needs to show me her assessments, and I approve everything that she's doing in the classroom. Most of the time she's using my materials as well, which, I mean, I do borrow a lot of her stuff, but I also make up a lot of stuff too. And, I mean, I change my lesson plans on the fly during the week because I've overplanned, or I know something's not working, or I know that we need to do this in order for them to do well on my test, or the test that Mrs. Matt made and that they're going to take. And So that was a fib. But like, he's just not turning things in, and he's getting 30 and 50% on tests, and I've given him opportunities, and she asked about his behavior in class, and I didn't want to say the truth because I didn't know how it was going to come out, and then later Mrs. Matt was like, well, why didn't you just say what he really does? But she asked, Noah's mom asked if Noah had come to me, it was like ask for help. And I said, well, he asks me general questions in class, but it's never extremely specific, and I try to help him as best I can in the moment, but I mean, he's one of 28 kids. He's in a class of 28. It's a full classroom. He can't, he's not homeschooled anymore. You hate the way I'm doing things, take him back out and homeschool him. So, extremely frustrating. So what I should have said, according to Mrs. Mayo, was the truth, which is in class, he will ask me in front of every other student, why are we getting homework again? Why are we doing this? Like, why do I need to do, like, he asked those kinds of questions, and that was something I wasn't really going to say in front of her because I figured that would, like, I thought it would be a bad thing. And Mrs. Matt was like, well, to me that would say that he's being lazy, and at home he's obviously playing a victim, and I need to try and tear that down, but I just didn't see how that was going to do that. So, like, I'm sitting there, and all I'm thinking is, this is awful. And it was one parent out of like 10, and it sucked. And it's days like this when I come back, or even before I come back, I'm just like, what am I doing? You know? Why don't I want to be a teacher? Like, what else can I do instead? So that's a crappy way to end a video, but that's what happened today. And it feels like this morning was like 5 days ago, not 5 hours ago, that's stupid. So, yeah, I really don't feel like Mr. Bone observed me this morning. Mrs. Mann had to remind me before we walked out. So, I guess that's about it. I mean, I just ran for half an hour, and it's kind of cold up here, and I still smell, so I should go shower, and then figure out what Candace needs from me. And oh yeah, my grandma called. Apparently she was coming through Spring Arbor and wanted to know if I was going to be around about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I was at Western High School, and I didn't bother to check my voicemail until after conferences, which was over at 6:30, so a little late. And I only have 4 minutes left on my phone, so I should go buy more minutes too on edit. So, okay. Oh, and I got the gas card that you talked about. Finally did that. Did I mention that the woman almost didn't give me my $30 back because she was too old to see that I'd given her a 50 and not a 20? I should have known something was up when she gave me asked for the 10 cents, and anyway. So, yeah, I need to go play on Spanish too, and talk to Candace, and get some things done. Tomorrow's going to be my first night that I don't have too much to do. That would kind of nice. Probably miss you a lot more. So, okay. Love you. Bye.